Hi, I'm Visky from the Kweebec Lorekeeper, and this channel is going to be about lore and other Hytale things. This is going to be more of like a less structured video. The first part of the intro is going to be more structured, like the next part after this, and then after that I'm just going to ramble on about a bunch of nonsense. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. If not, thank you for coming by. I know I'm probably boring you, so that's okay. You can go do something else. Go play Hytale. That would be awesome. Also, one more side note. The footage you're seeing is me struggling to build sands from Undertale and Hytale. I just wanted to mention that, and because I thought it was funny. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get started. So in my travels through this echo of Orbis, I've noticed one thing that connects all mortals in this world. Creation and the need to be avatar-like. From golems being created to mine for precious materials to alchemists searching for eternal life. Talk about gifts of flames and cold whispers in the shadows. It seems that many of the mortals of Orbis wanted to have the power of the avatars by using the essences and magic within gems and the world around them in order to gain that power. But when that power didn't come quickly enough and they didn't meet the standards of themselves and the standards of an avatar, they were tempted to darker forces. At this point, I don't really know what these forces are exactly, but I believe the reliance on these forces caused the downfall of Orbis. Now that we got the boring pre-recorded shit out of the way. Oh my god, I'm very professional. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of the beings in Orbis want to be immortal. They want to be godlike and they want to be powerful. And they want the powers of an avatar. A lot of beings want to have the power of the avatar. They want to live forever. They want to have the ability to create things like worlds and such. And so they studied, I guess, the creation of Gaia and the creation of Orbis, and they've found many things that they could use. They've created golems, they've created like alchemy and potions, the arcane arts. They've done so many different things, and they've come so close, and yet it wasn't enough for them. They had all this power, and it wasn't enough, so what do? They go and they find things like the void, or the flames, or the whispers, and they listen to those things, and they're more tempted by this promise of power. And I think a lot of this promise of power, I don't know if it was all of it, or if it was more, just, like, many different things that caused the collapse of Orbis. But I think the Void had a bigger part in it, in the sense of giving people the power that they needed in order to become godlike. And this is, like, wild speculation, right? But this is a thought that I had. This is completely wild speculation. But I think Varen is a creation of Gaia and is angry that he doesn't have the same amount of power as her, and so he used the Void in order to try and destroy the other creation that she cared more about instead of Nexus. Now, I'm saying this in the sense of like, oh, this is like crazy speculation. I don't know, like, whether Nexus was created by Gaia. I, for one, personally think that Orbis was created by Gaia more than Nexus or anything else, because I think, you know, there's like other things like Titans, but that's another story for a different day. I think that the Void, and they wanted the Void, and they got the Void, and it took a hold on Orbis. And they used that in order to drain Gaia of her memories in order to make her docile so they can like keep Orbis for themselves. So it can like die out and like be broken forever and shattered into fragments. The reason why they did this instead of just like killing Gaia or just taking her out is most likely because you can't kill an avatar. Avatars are godlike and immortal after all. So how do you kill something that's godlike and immortal? You can't kill it, you can't trap it. You can't do anything that would like keep it stuck in one place. So what do? You take away its memories. And that's why memories are so important in the Cursebreaker arc. We're trying to get Gaia to remember the world that she created. Because our memories make us who we are. And it drives our creativity, our thought processes. And so if you take that away from an avatar, it takes away literally the one thing that they're known for, which is creation and creativity. Like making things. And so that's why she doesn't have her will, as the Heart of Orbis states. We need to give her her memories back so she can remember the world itself. And a lot of that is also like kind of like leaning into more like Eldritch ideas as well. This is another thing I thought about, where maybe the world of Orbis itself is more of a thought, like a dream, or like a in the mind of the creator, right? And I don't think it's like that, because I think, you know, bringing the memories back doesn't really create Orbis. I haven't found all of the memories, so I don't really know yet. But I do think there is some truth in the concept of giving the memories back in order for Gaia to have her power, in order to help form Orbis back into what it used to be. I don't know if that's going to be a previous form of Orbis, because we might just be in the future aftermath of what happened before, and we go back in order to stop it, because in the concept art, and I don't really want to look at the concept art, there is like the concept of like a portal that leads to the moment where the Sand Empress was imprisoned, which makes me think that we go back and then we imprison her, because it leads to that moment. So it's us, obviously, right? That makes sense from a story standpoint, if we are like, you know, heroes or avatars in the world of Orbis. All in all, I think that this game will be more about, or the Cursebreaker arc in general will be about getting her memories back and fixing the world from a state that caused it to have all of these different mortals like communing with the void and like having the void within them, and using that in order to gain power, but dooming their world and causing Gaia to lose herself in the process. I feel like we are going to help her, and once we finally help her completely fuel herself, I don't think the entire Cursebreaker arc is going to be about memories. I think we're going to have to do more things than that, but we are going to help Gaia, and we're going to bring her back, and we're going to bring back Orbis together, because we are some of the only beings that can do that. We're avatars. We can, I guess, like the song suggests, build our future and create, open our eyes and see what we can do. But yeah, that's just me ranting around, you know, just talking about my ideas and what I want to do. For this channel, I will go into more detail if people want me to about like things such as the Crucible, things such as the Pharons and their history, the Scarix. I could go into the Outlanders and why they reject the Flames. I can go into the Flames themselves and how that could be tied to the undead and like the Spark of Souls. I could talk about the Artisans who wanted to live forever but might have been part of the Flames itself, you know, trying to create life, and how the Crucible is probably the main reason why the world is what it is for the most part, because the Crucible does seem to be very important. Talk about like who built the ancient gateways, what essence is, what makes avatars what they are, like the concept of avatars, because I have an idea that like Titans are like using avatars in order to interact with the universe of Hytale, or I guess the multiverse in this way, since each save file in the game is considered a universe. But I've been talking too long. Let me know what you think about this. I know it's probably messy and weird, but this is just what it is for now. And I will be back with it and with you guys in the next one. So I'll see you then. Heidi ho! What the fuck? Why did I say that?